Hi everyone, welcome to the this special ESL edition of Bombay Talks. Where we're shooting this almost 24 hours after we got the news that the top 12 European clubs are going to break away and start their own European Super League. We're joined by some of the superstars of Bombay Penya, guys.
Thank you.
So we have Saj and Yash Pereira with us. So guys, let's get into initial reactions. What do you all think about the ESL when it was? I mean, we've been hearing about it for the last almost year, the full year, and especially when it was announced. What do you all think?
I was literally shocked looking at it. Suddenly, this decision was taken overnight. I think this was coming, but with the pandemic situation, it was coming.
Actually, I was really shocked. I was like, man, no, we can't kill the football. This has to be stopped. But after knowing the reasons, I'm like, okay, let's see what happens.
Do you all think this is a good direction European football is going down?
No.
No, I don't think so. This cutthroat with UEFA and ESL is like literally ruining football right now.
Yeah.
They're literally fighting in the name of football to show
Because
their
if
own
they-
ego and their own power.
Because of the ego, players and managers will suffer.
Right.
Fans also.
Yeah, fans also.
We are
Yes,
we are
exactly.
suffering.
We've all grown up watching, watching those famous Champions League nights. And personally, I'm also, quite against this ESL because it's going to completely, change modern football as we know it. But I can understand why. I can understand the reasons behind them doing it. We don't agree with it completely, but we can understand why they decided to do it. So, do you all want to go ahead and talk about why they made the ESL at all?
Yeah, first of all, everyone knows why it is happening because of the money problem, revenues, and club like PSG and City, their reasons buying players on a very cost. I actually personally I feel that this was happening. Everyone knew that this is gonna happen because I'm hearing this story from past 2-3 years about the Super League, but I never knew that Perez will do this. I was not expecting that from Perez. But anyways, they have their reasons. FIFA have their reasons. We have to hear both stories, and then only we can decide or judge anyone.
Perry?
Yeah.
You want to add to why they made the ESL at all?
This was created because what I think is that to get financial stability amongst all the clubs, which they have faced during the pandemic.
Mhm.
And also it's that players like Tony Cruz literally said it in an interview that he's tired of traveling, been forced to travel to places like Abu Dhabi, or now he has to go to Qatar, and the human rights issue also is going on. So I think that they literally got the points right now to change it for change or boycott UEFA in one way.
Right. And if you were to look back at the previous decade since financial fair play has been in effect, UEFA has pretty much used FFP to penalize, teams like Milan, Inter, and
Yes.
many smaller European teams that were, in a lot of debt and otherwise had financial issues. But they never actually addressed the massive amounts of what is that football sports washing that PSG and City have done. I mean,
City have done right.
Manchester City's revenues from 2009 to 2019 in those 10 years have basically gone up 10 times. And now that is not really possible for a football club to do themselves, because it's a football club is ultimately supposed to be for football, not for making profits or laundering money. So this jump in revenue has been extremely fishy, and they've not taken any. I know that court case against City basically got off scot free on a technicality. They were absolutely guilty, and UEFA just couldn't
I
do
was
anything.
expecting 2 years ban at least. 2 years ban at least.
Exactly.
But
We
no.
were all expecting
They
something like
paid a few fine and they are like, okay, we are,
What the fine was? What, 30,000 euros?
now we know that the ESL is happening. We know these 12 clubs are going to be in it. Totally, they're going to be 20. 12 have already signed up. What do you all think about the format of the ESL?
format of the ESL. To be honest, actually, I'm not liking the format. First of all, 10 teams in two groups. We are playing Bayern every week or City every week. We'll get bored. Easily, we'll get bored. it will be like Getafe or Elche or Eibar. They're playing every week. I don't want that. I want some teams like draw against them. The luck favors us or them. But I'm against FIFA also because of the corruption, what they have done.
Who may not know, the ESL format is 20 teams that will be split into two tables of 10 teams each. Those the teams in each table will play each other home and away, and the top four teams of each in each table will proceed to the quarterfinals, and then we'll have, I think they're going to have a quarterfinals and semis and finals.
And there's no competition. Like people used to fight for top four spot, even if they used to lose a title. Now they don't have to worry. If they're winning, they're winning. If they're not winning, it's okay. They are still playing the Super League. That sucks.
The flip side is, I mean, the from what's being reported, each club is going to get about 350 million just for accepting the invitation, which is which is basically like if you reaching 3 years, if you reach the quarterfinals of the Champions League 3 years in a row, you make like about that much money. Guys, what do you think about the new UCL format? Because initially we thought when they introduced the new UCL format, maybe that would end all talks of an ESL. The new UCL format is such that now we have 32 teams. They'll make it 36 teams, and then there will be they will make all 36 in one table, and then each team is going to play 10 matches against 5 other opposition, home and away, and then there is a second playoff stage. So do you all think that this 2-stage competition before the round of 16 and quarterfinals
Is it the Swiss format?
It's the Swiss model, yes. So this is anyway going to benefit the larger teams, because the larger teams that perform badly in the initial group stage have a second chance in the playoff anyway.
The wild card, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that itself is also that is also benefiting the larger teams, right?
So they're increasing more teams. They want us to play more. They are not giving us more money. So both sides, it's all fault of FIFA, UEFA, and even our presidents.
What do I think that suddenly, just like in the coming of days, these two guys will just come together. So this ESL will be like once in 4 years, like the World Cup, and then we'll have the Champions League. That's why the next Champions League thing is in 2024. So 2021 will be ESL, and then 3 years later will be the normal Champions League.
See, from what we've heard, UEFA and FIFA are having emergency meetings all throughout these few days, or maybe even the week.
Yeah.
So let's see what actually happens. I mean, you never know. All of this could just be one big bargaining chip that the club presidents are using to extract a better deal out of UEFA at the end of the day. Okay, guys, we've spoken about it quite a bit. Let's get some views from others also. So let's add some other guys to the call, and let's hear their reaction. What were your initial reactions when you heard about the European Super League being announced? Samakshi, go for it.
पहली बार जब मैं देखी कल रात को मैच के बाद मैसेज आया तो मेरे को तो बिलीव ही नहीं हुआ कि भाई ये मेरे को लगा फिर से कोई ऐसे मेरा ट्रोल वगैरह कर रहा है, पर बाद में जब मैं सो के उठी तो मैं देखी जो पूरा नेट पे छा गया था, तब बहुत खतरनाक था। मुझे लगा नहीं था कि ऐसा कुछ हो जाएगा रात।
Yeah, that's what, like, exactly same. Last night when all this was going on, there was a lot of drama going on. I stayed up very late, and at that time I thought, since so many years all this has been going on, I thought, in a few hours they'll probably negotiate, probably not go through with it. I woke up in the morning to 200 notifications of the European Super League. I got one very big heart attack, and I was just like, you've absolutely got to be kidding me that this actually happened, that I actually went through with it. Like, it took me an hour to digest and believe that, they actually did it, because it was a very big shock. If they're fighting with UEFA and FIFA, then it just defeats the entire purpose. So if they negotiate, and if they are in ties with FIFA and UEFA, then I think I really don't mind the ESL. But since that's not the case, I don't think they should have gone through with this.
Okay, very honest opinions from Samakshi and Khyati. Thanks, guys. Hi Saurabh, hi Denuka. Thanks for joining us. So what was your initial reaction when you all got heard the news or got the notification that 12 clubs were breaking away and starting the European Super League?
Personally speaking, I've heard so many reactions from people, be it football fans or football pundits, be it in EPL or La Liga. I hold personally a slightly contrarian view. Just as a disclaimer, with all due respect to all the football clubs, all the fans, all the amazing players that they have and their achievements, right? Despite everything, these 12 and add PSG or Dortmund or Bayern to this. I mean, these are the clubs people follow globally. That's a matter of fact. One.
Right.
Football is all about money. It's not something that started today.
Right. Right.
When Indian League was started, there was a lot of backlash. That was way back in 1990, way ahead of our time. But if you read the paper, there was a lot of backlash. There was a lot of resistance. When World Cup started in 1950, 1930, it was an invitational thing, and see what kind of a money-making machine it's become, right? When even UEFA Champions League started, it was again an invitational, very limited clubs, and see the form it's taken. So it's a fact of life, whether we like it or not. Okay.
Right.
And to be honest, if I like, as much as will I be really interested to watch a Real Madrid with, let's say, Osasuna or Getafe, with all due respect to all those clubs, right? They're amazing. Vis-a-vis, as much as you can curse about, the history of Arsenal, how much they've won, if there's a Real Madrid versus Arsenal match, how much will I be interested?
Right.
Right? Just think about taking emotional outbursts just for a minute. So for me, it's a path-breaking thing. Money is here to stay. It's revolutionized Premier League. Yes, there should be some modification. Yes, I'm not saying that other clubs should not be a part of it. There should be a greater participation. Yes, these clubs have the moral authority to ensure that other things are not, just set aside. But if you want to buy an Mbappe or if you want to buy an Haaland, where will you get $200 million? Today, this Real Madrid, the same club that we all love and adhere to, right? We are under a debt of $600 million.
Right.
We want the best players. But the reality is the world is a changed place, like a Thanos snap, right? You have $200, $300 million. How will you get that? So you need some path-breaking ideas. As much as you don't like it, you have the facts which are all over the world for these 15 odd clubs, if we include those other things settled down. This will be a massive hit. This will be a game changer. Wednesday night can be really big thing for a lot many people.
Right.
And there has to be a certain level of inclusion. There has to be money which needs to be distributed across. But think about it, Ferrari. They don't want as many Formula One leagues played, but they are the most premium played club because they are the legacy. They are the biggest of racing teams. Same goes for football. So that's my thought in a very short and a very manner, if you call that quick. I know many people will disagree with me, but so be it.
But many people will also agree with you, Saurabh. I mean, what you said is right. So a lot of people will also agree with you.
So Dhenuka, what do you think? The sport football, is it going to the right direction with ESL?
I don't think so. I really don't like this thing of like an exclusive big boys club. This is not where it should go. It is not only in this sport, like any sport, right? You always want that excitement, the sudden surprise, the
underdog,
unexpected,
the underdog story, right?
Exactly, it's always the underdog story. You root for the underdog. It makes for great sport
viewing
also.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is not this whole exclusive big boys club mentality doesn't work. And the clubs and irrespective of the format or anything else, and I'm not saying that the UEFA format, the new format that they were proposing, was any good or whatever. And I think Kroos or someone suggested that something to the effect of don't if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Right.
So
right.
He didn't say that. I'm just paraphrasing, but
yeah.
That is the gist of it, right? And
correct.
The format can be improved and whatever. And I was not a big fan of the new format also, because the new format was going to be extremely taxing on the players.
Exactly.
And people are already, like, we know, right, with the freaking injuries and everything going on this season, we know what kind of madness goes on when you already have these many matches scheduled.
Right.
And I was not a fan of that, but this is definitely not the way to go. The ESL is definitely not the way to go for me.
Okay. So thank you, Saurabh and Dhenuka. We've had completely opposing views, and but honestly, that's what makes this our show awesome to watch, because somebody is always has an opposing view. Somebody always will agree and disagree with you, but that's the fun of it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
Saif, tell us what was your initial reaction when you heard about the ESL?
So first my reaction was like, अरे यार ये किसने ये फालतू में क्या मैसेज भेजे? That was my reaction. Like क्या है ये? Like only the top teams are playing. Like ये क्या ऐसा pot money है या like 4 billion डाला and they are all playing against each other and
Yeah.
so that was my reaction. Honestly, I am it was shocking. More of like as a football fan, like if both teams like super teams are playing against each other, like let's say for semis or quarters in the UCL, I get pretty excited. Like amazing, dude, क्या teams है दोनों की, and they'll be like pretty exciting match. But uh, you know, I don't know what to say, man. Like it was shocking. Like shocking is the word.
Right.
Yeah.
So guys, what do you think? Those 12 founding clubs which they've formed and which league they've signed, do you think it justifies it? Are you with the clubs?
Should I go first?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
Saif, anyone?
yeah.
So in my opinion, it's not right. See, it's like a student is preparing for JEE mains and he qualifies everything. He qualifies as advanced as well, and now he's going into IIT and see that there are 10 seats and out of that 8 are already reserved. And being a general student, you know that feeling like I am deserving. Itna deserving okay bhi I am not getting that chance. It's the same feeling for that clubs. So if I'm like I don't know what the criteria was, but if they are selecting the teams based on their historic value or their economic conditions, so I don't know why Arsenal, Tottenham, these clubs are there because
Nottingham
if we
Forest.
are, yeah, exactly. That's my point. Because if we are considering UCL, then Nottingham Forest has 2 UCLs, and there are many more teams. Feyenoord, Ajax. These are the teams which should be there in the competition.
Yeah, same. The only pro of this league is like we can have big matches every week. But then, yes, as he said, like excitement level goes down to like watching El Clasico like 5 or 6 times a season, or watching the Derby, Manchester Derby 5 or 6 times a season. The excitement level just goes down, and this should not happen for me because the lower clubs should get chance, and when you like yeah, like as he told about the reservation criteria.
Right.
Yes, someone is yes, like Leicester did Leicester did the impossible, winning the Premier League and
Right.
this thing.
It
And then
basically
when you
takes out
come
the
here, yes,
takes out the underdog story from every
Yeah.
season because all the clubs are big
Yeah.
established clubs. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And also we wait for these matches so eagerly. Like El Clasico Cup hai. Yeah, अच्छा, we literally check the dates of the match every day, and if this happens like 4 to 5 times a season, our excitement level will surely go down. For me, it will go down.
See, the first reaction was like Super League is cool, but at what cost? I mean, you are risking your national team opportunity, even your domestic leagues, right? So, like, at what cost are the players also going to play for? And like, this is not like a contained championship. It's like an ongoing thing, normal thing. It's not a special exclusive championship. Like even if IPL is just for 2 or 3 months, correct? So it's not even like that. Okay, you will going to be exclusively for that. It's just a normal thing. Again, a midweek, and you're going to have same injuries also. Like we had a tough fixture right now also. Like we had UEFA first leg, then we had El Clasico, and then we had again second leg. So like, if we had another, suppose a fixture like this inside that, so there's so much of injuries possible.
Bhargav, what was your initial reaction?
I was shocked. I was shocked because it is unfair to so many players who have worked so hard for all the years.
Right.
Look at West Ham. Look at so many teams who are doing great, not only in EPL, even in Spanish leagues, even in Bundesliga. Bayern have lost to so many mid-table teams this season. Even in EPL is so exciting. I mean, Liverpool is not even in top 4, the champions of last year. So it is shocking that it is so unfair to so many clubs who have invested so much energies, so much everything, and then you suddenly announce it overnight. It's not like you at least you give time to these people. Like we are going to launch Super League next year.
Correct.
It's just like we wake up and the whole world wakes up to this news of Super League. So it's shocking.
Exactly.
It's wrong on so many levels. Even though I believe that it's well within their rights to make this, but it's shocking on so many levels, and it's so wrong.
Right.
We always like to cheer the teams which are losing, and then they come up at the last minute and win. So like you have a total opposite probability of winning. I mean, the weak teams have a least probability of winning against the weak teams. That's why we like watching UEFA.
I think it's going downhill now. It's going to be first of all, who's going to keep them accountable for what they are doing now? I mean, Papa Perez is the soul, whole, and everything about this Super League, and so he gets what he wants, right? So I think Super League is here to stay. Whatever happens, whatever legal cases, or whatever ban that they do, Super League is going to stay. That's for sure.
Right.
But the impact, even though Perez must have thought of all these things, how to handle these problems, but it's very selfish of him to not think of what the impact will be on the clubs, the other clubs, the players. I mean, transfer market is going to go for a toss for sure.
But I don't think we're gonna get a perfect anthem for ESL just like UCL. There's no perfect anthem.
You can. There are anthems. You never know.
So Aryaman, thanks for joining us. It's your first time, first of many, hopefully. So can you tell us what your initial reaction was when you heard about the European Super League?
I think I was really disappointed because I feel this league goes against everything that football stands for. I mean, football stands for the unpredictability. It stands for more than the game. It's about the stories that, which happen during those games. For example, Ramos scoring that last minute header, Lucas Moura scoring the last minute hat trick to take Tottenham to the finals of Champions League.
Right.
And I believe with this league, it won't matter. All these stories won't matter. It's all because it's only money will matter. So I was really disappointed, and honestly, I was disappointed that was our president Perez that who was the head of all this. So really hurt my feelings.
Right. Sanket?
To be honest, when I heard this news that ESL is going to come up, I didn't know how to react to it. I still don't know how to react to it. Like, I'm a bit confused, to support it or to hate it, because it's like super giants. Like, it's like giants will play against each other. But then again, the question comes up, like, every weekend or weekday, two big teams will be playing against it. Will it be that big a game? Like how El Clasico comes like twice in a year, that's why it's a big game. But if it comes like every week, I don't think it will be a big game there.
I think it's going down the drain with this European Super League. One reason, because I think there are rumors, and the leagues have already said that they'll not allow these teams to play in the Premier League or the La Liga. But even if they allow them to play in the La Liga and Premier League, I think it won't be the same, because regardless of the position they finish in the domestic leagues, they're still going to play in a league which gives them $400 million. So what's the motive of playing properly? What's the motive for the owners to invest in the team? Because it won't matter where they finish. And I think Marcelo Bielsa put it perfectly. He just gave a statement. He said the beauty of this sport is that the weak can beat the strong. Now, if you have this European Super League where you're giving the strong teams $400 million for just participating in it, it creates such a big economic divide that you're not giving the weak teams even an iota of chance to have a go at these strong teams. So in this case, they cannot be Goliath. So I think if this continues, I think European football is going down the drain, because we'll just have these elite clubs playing against each other, which I think Saket said perfectly. It just take away the beauty of it.
Right. Sanket?
European football went down the drain when they introduced the Nations League to us. And Nations League, and then we heard that UEFA is coming up with a new format for UCL.
Right.
Went down the drain there too. It's all about the money. So I don't blame the ESL because they also want the money. And European football, I don't think it's going the right direction. They're all thinking about the big money clubs and stuff like that.
Right.
Can I just add something?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go for it.
I've always believed, in European football, there are no good guys. People are saying, PSG are not coming into this as the good guys. There are no good guys. I think they're just bad guys and worse guys, because
exactly
UEFA and FIFA have done their
the reason for the shit show.
There's a reason PSG have not joined yet, because FIFA have awarded the World Cup to Qatar. So after 2002, you'll see that probably the day after the 2002 World Cup, PSG will join the European Super League.
Exactly.
likely.
So everyone's bad in this case. It's just that the teams participating in ESL are in the worst category.
Right. Is the ECL the correct thing to do? Are they doing the correct thing by starting the ESL?
No, completely no. I don't want another league. Actually, my point is why you can go, you can protest, you can withdraw the team. Don't play the league for 1-2 years. They will realize their mistake. We should wait, but not a new league. No, bro, not at all. UEFA से बाहर जाना, यूरोप से बाहर जाना क्यों जो हम लोग जमाने से देखते हुए आ रहे, क्यों उसको खराब करना है?
But bro, this is the treatment. So UEFA का treatment also is bad. There's no action taken against racism. Literally, players are forced to do stuff. They're forced. Why? You're playing for a club. They're acting like the big boss around.
But then, bro,
Nations League, for example,
the Nations League.
Bruce just said it. He's been forced to go for matches. Why would he do that?
No, and financial fair play is a myth at this point. So they're using financial fair play only to penalize smaller clubs that have.
Is there not any other option? Is there not any other option?
As we are trying to justify this, Premier League was formed by breaking the Premiership of EFL. This was also formed the same way. As elitism within the bigger. Yes.
But the difference is that in the Premier League they have the relegation promotion system. So ultimately over those few years, I think it's almost 25 years now since the Premier League was formed. So over those 25 years, the best teams have survived, and the ones that through competition, the ones that didn't perform as well were relegated. So
I think Blackpool is still in relegation.
So honestly, that makes sense. Like if you are going to make a league with the top 20 teams, I think you need to have relegation promotion to keep the teams invested. If all of them are guaranteed to finish, to not lose out on anything next year because of a bad performance this year, then there is no incentive, no?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys, for coming with us. I hope that you enjoyed our video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to be on the videos in the future, you can DM us or let us know. Thank you.
जैसी गलती फीफा ने किया वैसे आप मत करो. Please like करो, share करो, comment करो, and please join us for the next video. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Thanks for watching this video. Hala Madrid.
Hala Madrid. Hala Madrid.